Hello agents, today we have another build for you and it's the first of many that has been shared with me from community member Milkman. I'm working on more from him as we speak, but this one is just a little fun build that he put together using a mediocre rigger gear set. Be sure to give this video a like to support it and consider subscribing to the channel for more Division 2 content from me if you're new here. So I threw this build together last night and had some fun with it, and as a disclaimer, this is what the build is. It is just a little bit of fun, so don't be expecting any game changing build here. But what it was built for was to spam tamper proof remote pulse shocks, and with the rigger gear set this was possible. The idea is that you throw your remote pulse out as spawns and then keep adjusting the pulse with the instant cooldown to continue shocking enemies. It worked great when you caught the spawns at the right time, and your team would forever have pulsed enemies, so if any of them wanted to run spotter, they could benefit from the extra damage. With this build you'd also be overcharging the pulse often for extra damage, and you would switch out the hive for a drone or turret to make use of the skill damage on the build when the BTSU gloves are on cooldown. It is a support build with two variants, and we'll take a look at the first one now. Starting with the specialization, we are using the survivalist. The main reason for this is the extra damage to status affected enemies that your team will get on the shocked enemies. The primary that we have is the capacitor to build up more skill damage with the stacks that you get from the capacitance talent. Our full stacks you'll get 60% skill damage in addition to everything else that is on the build, and you get 7.5% weapon damage for each skill tier on the build, so this has an additional 45% weapon damage. On overcharge has an additional 7.5% weapon damage again, as Milkman has told me. The secondary is the mechanical animal, and we are using this for the future perfection talent. As we are at skill tier 6, getting a kill will put you on overcharge for 15 seconds, and you can use this every 90 seconds. How you play this build is you first get the overcharge with the hive and then switch that out for a drone or turret. After the overcharge is over with the hive, you get a kill with the mechanical animal for more overcharge and damage, and then switch the capacitor to beef up the skill damage for the drone or the turret. After 90 seconds you can get another kill with the mechanical animal for more overcharge, and you'll be ready to switch back to your hive to start again in the next area. All this while you are managing a remote pulse as discussed earlier. Ignoring the sidearm as it doesn't matter, we have 4-piece rigger, and we are using this on the mask, holster, knee pads and backpack, and we are taking advantage of the 3-piece and 4-piece bonuses on this, but mainly the backpack talent that only works with all 4 pieces. For 3 pieces of rigger we get the extra skill duration, and then for 4 pieces we get the tendon befriend talent that gives you extra skill damage, and the backpack talent called complete uptime allows you to cancel the skills to reset skill cooldowns, and this is what we use to get the remote pulse back instantly so that we can move it and spawn trap enemies to shock them. Each rigger piece is rolled to status effects to improve the shock, and skill duration mods are put on all 3 mod slots on the build. To make the shock possible, you do need to run tamper proof on the chest piece. Enemies within 3 meters of your hive, turret or remote pulse will be shocked, and the cooldown is 10 seconds. However, the arm time is only 2 seconds, so destroying the pulse and repositioning it allows you to spam the shock more often and target spawn points and enemies. We have gone with a wyvern chest for more skill damage, and it had a skill damage roll on it, but I would switch out the skill haste to status effects for the shock if I could. And the final piece is the BTSU gloves, and these are used to enable you to destroy a hive to refresh skill cooldowns and get overcharge. This can be done once every 120 seconds, and at skill tier 6 all allies benefit from it as well. Mixing this with a remote pulse and you get the weakness exploit talent, where you and your allies damage is amplified by 15% to pulse targets. This talent also procs with a kill from the mechanical animal too, so you can time your overcharges for the right moments. And the hive we are using is the booster hive. It could be any hive really, as its main purpose is to be destroyed for the overcharge before switching it out to take advantage of the skill damage on the build. If you're not bothered and would rather just waste the skill damage on the build, you can use whichever hive you feel will support your team best, and this is where the second variation of the build comes in. Everything is pretty much the same, but you turn it into a healer build. The shocks are not as good, but you can heal your team while keeping constant pulses and giving overcharge. The survivalist healing properties now come into play, and instead of the capacitor, you'd use a designated hitter to get extra skill repair on a headshot. You would still use the mechanical animal for overcharges, and the only other changes is that you would roll repair skills on all of the pieces, run an Alps chest piece that gives you more repair skills, and then run a restorer hive to heal the team. As I said, the skill damage on the build would be wasted this way, but your team would have constant pulsed enemies that you can still shock as spawns with a tamper proof, and they'll be getting heals as well. And that is it for the video. A huge thank you again to Milkman for sharing these builds. He did stress that this was just some fun that he had with a build and talent that he felt are otherwise mediocre at best. Out of all the builds he has sent me, these were just the easiest to put together for now, but I have more builds coming from Milkman next week. I just need to work on them and test them. I'm hoping to have 2 ready, and they are both raid builds that are used for dark hours. Again, please do hit like to support this video, and be sure to subscribe if you're new here and want to catch my next video on Friday, where I'm hoping to show you a way to get unlimited resources on the Division 2. Thank you all for watching this, and until the stream later tonight, stay safe and peace out.